Dear friends, good morning to you all. We are presenting a certificate course on a new subject of life building science. At the outset, I request Professor Diptimoy Das, Department of Physics, Bhadrak Government College, Bhadrak, Odisha, to please give a brief introduction of the author of this course.
Dear students, good morning to you all. This is a certificate course on a new subject of life building science. This course has been conceptualized, designed and prepared by Sri Mohanlal Agrawal ji. He is the author of this certificate course. So at the outset, let me give a brief introduction of Sri Mohanlal Agrawal ji. Sri Mohanlal Agrawal ji is a retired senior bank executive. During his student life, he happened to read some books of His Holiness Swami Sivananda Saraswati ji of the Divine Life Society, Rishikesh, India. Those books inspired him instantly, magnetically and profoundly. And since then, he has been an ardent student of Sivananda literature. To learn and to share is his inborn quality. He had a passion for teaching profession. Therefore, he desired to become a teacher, but providence made him a banker. In spite of the same, his passion for learning and sharing knowledge, particularly amongst our modern students, made him to contribute a little towards life building, character building and man-making education for our modern students. On one hand, he observed that there is lack of character building, life building and man-making education in our modern schools, colleges and universities, which was imparted in the center of learning called Gurukulas in ancient India. As a result, our modern students are deprived of the same and are incurring permanent losses and irreparable damages in their lives. On the other hand, he found that the world-renowned, vast Sivananda literature contains teachings on almost all topics on the subject of life building and successful living, which our modern students need the most, and therefore it can eminently meet the requirements of our modern students. In such a greatly needy situation, he found a great opportunity lying ahead for him to take Sivananda literature containing teachings on character building, life building and man-making education to our modern students for their study, guidance, practice and for immense benefits. His passion for teaching profession and his deep love and concern for our modern students led him to avail of the said great opportunity. And availing of the said opportunity, he has compiled from Sivananda literature the book with the title Youth, Arise, Awake and Adopt the Right Path of Life in 16 volumes on the subject of life building and successful living, and published the same for free distribution amongst our modern students for their study and guidance in the situation of lack of character building, life building and man-making education in our modern schools, colleges and universities. Also, he has written one book with the title Value Education for Life Building and Successful Living for study and guidance of our modern students. This has been designed as a textbook on the subject of life building science, which our modern students can study before studying the aforesaid books of compilation in order to get introduced to the lessons contained in the latter books. He has also conceptualized, designed and developed some courses on the said subject of value education for life building and successful living for benefits of our modern students. With his initiative, students awareness programs on the subject of value education for life building and successful living have been conducted at some universities, institutes and schools for the benefit of our modern students. He has been continuing dissemination of all such education amongst our modern students even after retirement from his banking service.
Dear friends, now I request Sri Mohanlal Agarwala, the author of this certificate course, to please deliver his inaugural address and welcome the students.
Dear friends, my hearty greetings, good wishes and loving namaskar to you all. Dear friends, student life and youth period of say 20 to 25 years is the golden period in the precious human life. During this period, students ought to lay a proper and strong foundation of their precious human life. And upon such a proper and strong foundation, they ought to construct a proper and complete superstructure of their precious human life. Then only they can live the remaining long period of their future precious life of say 60 to 75 years successfully. That is, economically and materially prosperously, as well as spiritually, happily and peacefully. A complete system of education should teach our students on this subject of life building and successful living also, in addition to other subjects. Dear friends, in ancient time, our students were imparted life building, character building and man-making education. But our modern schools, colleges and universities impart our students only secular education on various subjects like literature, history, geography, civics, social science, economics, business management, accounting, auditing, insurance, salesmanship, mathematics, science, physics, chemistry, biology and a host of other subjects on the stream of arts, science, commerce, etc. Such education teaches our students how to make a living, or in other words, how to earn money in order to fulfill various worldly desires in human life, and thus to live the secular life. But it does not teach them how to live the human life as distinguished from making a living. In other words, it does not impart them necessary teachings regarding how to live their long precious future life happily and peacefully also through living of spiritual life, which is the higher goal of human beings according to our great ancient Indian culture. Dear friends, achievement of success in both secular life and spiritual life requires building of life properly and strongly during one's golden student life and youth period. Friends, can a person hope to cross the vast turbulent sea smoothly and reach the other shore safely by sailing in a weak, poor and damaged ship? He cannot. Similarly, a person cannot achieve success in any field of his life, whether secular or spiritual, without a proper and strong foundation of life. That is, without good physical health, powerful mind, celibacy, noble character and ethical conduct. Friends, can you earn money with sick and weak physical health and with weak memory power and poor concentration power? You cannot. Friends, with the help of money that you earn, can you eat delicious food of different kinds and enjoy various types of worldly pleasures with sick physical health? You cannot. Therefore, friends, you need to be imparted education on how to build your life also. The need for life building education is more important than the need for secular education. But in spite of the great need for life building and man making education, our modern students are not imparted education on how to build their life properly and strongly during their golden student life and youth period. They are also not imparted education on how to live their future life both happily and peacefully. Consequently, they are deprived of such kind of education, and therefore they are unable to build their life properly and strongly during their golden student life and youth period. Consequently, they are incurring permanent losses and irreparable damages in their life. Hence, they need life building education also most intensely and urgently. Friends, in such a greatly needy situation, a new subject named life building science has been conceived, designed and prepared, and the teachings of this new subject is being presented to our modern students through this certificate course. During this certificate course, they will be imparted introductory teachings regarding first, what is the right goal of their precious human life? Second, how to lay the foundation of their precious life properly and strongly during their golden student life and youth period. Third, how to construct the superstructure of their precious life properly and completely. And fourth, how to live their long future precious life purposefully and successfully. Thereby, they can know how to build their precious human life properly during their student life and youth period. They can also know how to live their future human life successfully. These introductory teachings cover the simple meaning, necessity, importance, and benefits of each topic of the subject, and also speak the manner in which human life needs to be built and needs to be lived. It also speaks the source from which detailed knowledge on each topic on life building and successful living can be acquired. Dear friends, this certificate course, besides being valuable, a novel, comprehensive and unique program for you. Therefore, please take full advantage of this program with due earnestness and utmost sincerity. Please listen to the lectures of the certificate course with great interest, due attention, firm faith and needed patience, and complete this course successfully. Thereby, you will derive immense benefits for yourselves. Dear friends, I most heartily and lovingly welcome you all to this certificate course. Dear friends, before I close, I take this great opportunity to most humbly offer my earnest, fervent and heartfelt prayer to the Almighty Supreme Lord and all rishis, munis, saints, sages, prophets, teachers and professors to bestow their just blessings upon you all for completing this course successfully.
Now I request Professor Diptamar Das, Department of Physics, Bhadrak Government College, Bhadrak, Odisha, to please give a brief introduction of this certificate course on life building science. Professor Diptamar Das.
Dear students, a very good morning to you all. First, let us know what is the right goal of human life. Dear students, you are all at your youth period, aged about 14 or 15 years. You are just in the beginning stage of your lives. You are expected to live your future life for a long period, say 60 or 70 years. At this beginning stage, you ought to decide the goal of your life, because this is the right stage of your life for the same. After deciding the goal of your life, you will make endeavors to achieve the same and by achieving the same, you can live your long future life successfully, that is, prosperously, purposefully, happily, and peacefully. Generally, modern students decide their goal of life by aspiring to become doctors, engineers, chartered accountants, management professionals, teachers, lawyers, administrative officers, businessmen, agriculturists, etc. Such goal is called the secular goal of life. Achievement of secular goal enables them to make good financial earnings and acquire enormous material prosperity, and with the help of the same to eminently fulfill their various worldly desires. Thereby, human beings can live an economically prosperous and materially comfortable life. In this connection, our holy scriptures and our rishis, munis, saints and sages say that in addition to secular goal, there is another goal of human life. That goal is the higher goal of human life. They say that such a higher goal is called spiritual goal according to our great and glorious ancient Indian culture or Bharatiya Sanskriti. They further say that such a higher goal or spiritual goal is all the more necessary for living a complete, purposeful, successful and ideal human life. Achievement of that higher goal or spiritual goal enables human beings to live their life happily and peacefully. Both these goals combined together is the right goal of human life. Dear students, now let us know the right path of human life and its necessities and importance. Dear students, human life upon this earth plane is a long journey. It has a great destination to reach, that is to achieve the goal of life. This journey is required to be undertaken in the right path, otherwise the destination cannot be reached. That is, the goal of life cannot be achieved. This can be well explained with an example. If you want to go to Delhi, situated in the north direction, your destination, you need to know the right direction in which you will travel. If you know the same, you can proceed in the right direction and surely reach at Delhi. That is your destination. But if you do not know the right direction, you will proceed in the wrong direction and reach, say, Chennai, situated in the south direction, instead of reaching Delhi in the north. In that case, all efforts and pains, all money and all time that you have put into reaching at Delhi, that is your destination, will go in vain and will result in failures, losses, sorrows and disappointments. Such is the great necessity and importance of knowing the right direction. Similarly, you greatly need to know the right path of human life in your student life and youth period itself, so that you can proceed in the right path and achieve the goal of your life. Knowing the right path of human life means knowing how to build your life rightly by laying a proper foundation and by constructing a complete superstructure upon the said foundation. After acquiring such knowledge and building your life accordingly, you need to proceed in that right path so that you can live your life rightly, that is, economically and materially prosperously, as well as spiritually happily and peacefully. If you can live your life in such right manner, all efforts and pains, all money and all time that you are going to put into live your life will be worthwhile, fruitful, rewarding and beneficial to you. Otherwise, it will result in failures, losses, sorrows and disappointments in your life. Such is the great necessity and importance of knowing the right path of your life. Dear students, now let us know what is the right time of human life. Dear students, you need to know the right path to your destination at the right time. That right time is the time when you begin your journey. If you do not know the right path at the right time, you will begin your journey in the wrong path. Consequently, you cannot reach your destination but will reach elsewhere. Similarly, you need to know the right path of your life at the right time, that is, at the commencement of living your life. Otherwise, you may proceed in the wrong path of life and cannot live your life successfully. Then what is the right time of your life? The right time of your life is your golden student life and youth period, the first part of human life. Because during this period, human life is found in a growing, tender and impressionable state. Therefore, it will be very easy for students to build their life rightly during this golden student life and youth period by laying the foundation of their life properly and strongly, and thereafter by constructing the superstructure of their future life upon the said foundation completely, properly, strongly and nicely. If they do so, they can live their life successfully, that is, economically and materially prosperously, as well as spiritually, happily and peacefully. But if they neglect to build their life rightly during their student life and youth period, it will be extremely difficult for them to do so in their future life, because at the latter period of their life they will be found in a hardened state and not easily amenable to changes. This can be illustrated with the simple analogy of a potter's work. A potter can give any shape to a raw clay mixed with water to make various types of earthenware such as pots, cups, bowls, plates, glasses, toys, etc. He can also change the shape of one type of raw earthenware to another type, because at this stage the raw clay remains soft and therefore it is amenable to any kind of changes. But once the shaped raw earthenware is burnt in fire, the same becomes hard and not amenable to changes, and thereafter the potter cannot change the shape of the burnt and hardened earthenware. Therefore, the golden student life and youth period is the right time to know the right path of this precious human life. Dear students, now let us know what is the right education and its necessity and importance. Dear students, before proceeding in the right path of life at the right time of life, in order to achieve the right goal of human life, you need to acquire the required knowledge about the right path of human life. This right path of human life involves first deciding the right goal of precious human life, secondly building the precious human life rightly by laying its foundation properly and strongly, then by constructing thereupon its superstructure completely, properly, strongly and nicely. Acquiring the required knowledge about the right path of human life is very, very important, because without acquiring such knowledge, you cannot decide the right goal of your life and also cannot build your life rightly. Consequently, you cannot live your life successfully, that is, economically and materially prosperously, as well as spiritually, happily and peacefully. Such knowledge can be acquired through the right education, Right education includes, apart from secular education, life building, character building, and man making education. Such education comprises mainly moral, ethical, religious, and spiritual education and is called value education in the modern time. Dear students, now let us discuss about Sivananda literature. Dear students, education in the Gurukulas in the ancient India was life building, character building, and man making education, which is the right education. In the situation of lack of such right education in our modern schools, colleges, and universities, till the same is restored, you can most profitably study the book Youth, Arise, Awake, and Adopt the Right Path of Life, which has been compiled in 16 volumes from Sivananda literature. Because Sivananda literature or the books written by Swami Sivananda Saraswati ji, one of the great world-renowned and illumined saints of our modern time, can eminently meet the requirements of our modern students on the subject of life building and successful living. This one book only can guide modern students regarding first deciding the right goal of their precious human life, second building the human life rightly by laying the foundation of life properly and strongly, and by constructing thereupon the superstructure of future life completely, properly, strongly, and nicely, and thereby thirdly living their precious human life successfully, that is economically and materially prosperously, as well as spiritually happily and peacefully. Sivananda literature can eminently meet the requirements of our modern students from four important points of view. First, Sivananda literature contains right teachings on all topics on the subject of life building and successful living, which our modern students need the most, commencing from good physical health to self-realization. Second, Sivananda literature is comprehensive, simple, scientific, rational, practical, and powerful. Sivananda literature is also highly awakening, deeply appealing, greatly inspiring, heart-touching, and life-transforming. Third, it is universal and non-sectarian, and therefore students of all nationalities, religions, faiths, beliefs, sects, castes, creeds, colors, gender, etc. can study the same. Fourth, Swami Sivananda has imparted his teachings to the students not as a master but as a friend and well-wisher. Also, his teachings are in simple language. Even a high school student can understand the same very well. In view of this, Sivananda literature is highly student-friendly. Millions of modern students have been studying Sivananda literature and deriving immense benefits for themselves. Hence, our modern students can most profitably study Sivananda literature in the form of the said book, Youth, Arise, Awake, and Adopt the Right Path of Life, and get the required knowledge on the subject of life building and successful living. Thereafter, they can practice the teachings contained in Sivananda literature in their day-to-day life sincerely and meticulously, and build their life properly and live the same successfully. Dear students, now let us discuss about modern mind. Dear students, modern students used to approach all matters in a spirit of inquiry, and they first seek to know the why and how of things before accepting, adopting, and practicing them. They also always expect tangible results of any practice to be undertaken by them. Therefore, Before undertaking study of the lessons contained in the aforesaid book of compilation, youth arise, awake, and adopt the right path of life. They must be desiring to know as to why should they study the lessons and what benefits they will derive by studying and practicing the teachings contained in those lessons. After knowing the same, they will be interested to commence study of the said books and practice the teachings in their lives and derive immense benefits for themselves. This can be illustrated with the example of a sweet milk product called rasagolla. You may find rasagolla amongst various food items served in your plate on the dining tables. You may or may not eat rasagolla, but if you have knowledge beforehand that rasagolla tastes sweet, that it contains vitamins, that it is rich in protein, that such vitamins and proteins are necessary and beneficial for nourishment and development of the physical body, then you will surely eat rasagolla and derive the health benefits for yourselves. Similarly, if you will acquire knowledge about the necessity, importance, and benefits of a powerful mind, one of the topics or lessons of the book of compilation, youth arise, awake, and adopt the right path of life, surely you will be interested to study the methods of empowering your mind and then adopt and practice those methods. Thereby, you can empower your mind and derive immense benefits for yourselves. Similar is the case in respect of other topics or lessons of the said book of compilation, youth arise, awake, and adopt the right path of life. Dear students, now let us discuss about this certificate course in life building science. Dear students, this certificate course on life building science intends to fulfill the already discussed needs of our modern students. It contains introductory lectures containing the simple meaning, necessity, importance, benefits, manner, knowledge required, and the source from which students can acquire detailed knowledge on 24 topics on the subject of life building and successful living, commencing from good physical health to self-realization or God realization. Thus, it seeks to introduce those 24 topics as contained in the aforesaid book of compilation, youth arise, awake, and adopt the right path of life, to our modern students. Those topics include good physical health, powerful mind, noble character, ethical conduct, celibacy, Indian culture, real identity of human beings, true purpose of human life, righteousness or dharma or ethical value, material prosperity or artha or economic value, vital worldly desires or kama or vital value, liberation of soul or moksha or spiritual value, spiritual preceptor, yoga and Vedanta, japa yoga and yoga of synthesis, spiritual practices, company of saints or satsanga, study of holy scriptures or swadhyaya, divine life, domestic life and spiritual life, advices and messages to students, livings of religious and ethical life and spiritual life during student life, unity of religions, world peace, etc. These introductory lectures have been prepared by the author of this certificate course, Sri Mohanlal Agrawal ji. Dear students, during one students awareness program on value education for life building and successful living, one eminent saint, educationist, and a direct disciple of His Holiness Swami Sivananda Ji Maharaj, His Holiness Sri Swami Sivachidananda Saraswati Ji, Secretary, Sivananda Centenary Boys High School, Bhubaneswar, Odisha, has delivered his valuable and inspiring inaugural address as well as valedictory address to the modern students. Those addresses have been incorporated in this certificate course for great benefits of our modern students. Dear students, it is firmly believed that the introductory lectures of this certificate course will surely satisfy your inquiring mind, tell you the benefits you will derive by studying and practicing the teachings content therein, and thus it will definitely meet your aforesaid requirements. These introductory lectures will also create necessary inquisitiveness and great interest in your minds and inspire and encourage you profoundly to study the aforesaid book of compilation, youth, arise, awake, and adopt the right path of life with due earnestness and great interest. Thereafter, you can study the said book of compilation most profitably and practice the teachings content therein with utmost earnestness and sincerity. Thereby, you will derive great benefits for yourselves. Therefore, please listen to the introductory lectures of this certificate course with great interest, with due attention, firm faith, and needed patience, and complete the course successfully. Thereby, you will derive immense benefits for yourselves. Incidentally, you may like to simultaneously study the lectures of the certificate course in the form of a printed book. Therefore, these lectures, after some additions and recasting, have been published in the form of a book with the title Value Education for Life Building and Successful Living. The said book has been designed as a textbook on the subject of life building science. It has been uploaded in the Internet Archive and can be studied online free of cost. It can also be got printed form in the Internet Archive itself. This book can be searched in the Internet Archive in the following manner. First, access Internet through any browser. Then log in archive.org. Then click Advanced Search. A box of fields will appear on the screen. Then type Mohan Lal Agrawal in the field Creator. Then click Search. The above book will be displayed. Dear students, now I request you to please listen to the lectures on various topics of the certificate course in the subsequent episodes.